only when I came out of school did I begin to study on what coconut oil really can be used for other than cosmetics. So when I began to see the health benefits of the oil for food, health benefits of the oil for medicine, and coupled with the fact that my father was dying with diabetes.
Emeka Ugwoeje is an engineering graduate of the University of Maiduguri, Borno State, Nigeria. Somewhere along the line, he lost interest in the science of electrons and rather channeled his energy into the concept of healthy living. Several years later, that passion has morphed into a promising business venture.
I've always had this mindset, even through school, to have something for myself, by myself. So throughout school, I was doing some printing jobs. My mother used to sell in the market. So the monies that come were augmented with my own little trade here and there. So I think a man eventually turns out to be what he's been listening to, what he thinks. The Bible says that as a man thinketh, so is he. Coconut oil is what I've used on my hair and skin for almost 20 years now. So only when I came out of school did I begin to study on what coconut oil really can be used for other than cosmetics. So when I began to see the health benefits of the oil for food, health benefits of the oil for medicine, and coupled with the fact that my father was dying with diabetes. So that drove a passion in me. I felt so bad that my father was dying and he could have lived a better life if he knew the oil right on time. So all this just put together. Of course, we lost him a few hours after I found out. So that's actually what my vision entails.
Saturated fat was unfairly demonized a few decades ago. However, new studies reveal that there is no relationship between saturated fat and heart disease, thus leading to a recent upsurge in the demand for coconut oil in Nigeria and the world over.
As a nation, Nigeria is beginning to embrace the benefits of organic products. We were deceived that saturated fats will clog the heart and lead to terminal diseases. So we left off our palm oil, we left off our olive oil, we abandoned our palm kernel oil, we dumped coconut oil and went for chemicals. Coconut oil is excellent because it contains lauric fatty acid, which is contained only in two nature's offer, coconut oil and breast milk. When it is ingested into the body, it breaks down to what we call monolaurine. Monolaurine is that initial protection the infant needs. So it has a lot of antimicrobial properties. We celebrate vitamin E on the skin, it's there. We also talk about coconut oil for food, which also applies or relates to medicine. Coconut oil has short carbon chains. It does not only quickly break down in the body and supplies energy to your body, it also helps other foods to break down. Coconut oil is said to be a fat that makes you slim. So the Asians call coconut oil the miracle reverential oil. And that's what the Chinese man will call it, and all those your Asian countries who are living healthily. And Western countries, without mentioning their names, have told us to take nonsense oil.
So, as a trained engineer, I mean, how did you, or how were you able to, very quickly embrace, the whole coconut oil making process?
If you're going to do anything in life or amount to anything, you must read. I'm not a very good reading person, but I had to read. And on air, I can boldly say that I've read more about coconut oil than I read about engineering. So I had to do a lot of research. I read Bruce Fife, I read Mary Enig, I read a number of fat experts. I had to do a lot of biochemistry work. I had to do a lot of medical research. I had to do a lot of chemistry research. So that prepared me for what I was going into. Because our main line, our main product is the cold-pressed coconut oil. So, but along the line, we have about five byproducts, which we look into to get the best form of all of them. Someone calls me a few days ago and say, one more testimony in one little village in Kaduna. They are using my oils there to control diabetes. And then the lady is talking in Hausa. I don't even understand what she's saying. But somebody is being healed or getting better around a terminal disease. So while I'm excited, I have my own personal testimony from my product. I'm also not too excited because I've read about what coconut oil can do. So that's the major work that was firstly put into this whole project. Studying, reading, getting to know a lot of things through research. We can have a roadmap for 20 years. A lot of countries did it. We don't even need to be rich today. I don't even need to be rich, but let my children be rich. So if we have a roadmap for 50 years, for 30 years, and we start doing it, of course, some of us will die before the time, but in our death, we will see a great nation. That will bring us fulfillment.
SFK Coconut Oil became fully operational in 2012. Today, he owns a 5-room production facility in the Kuje area of Abuja. Emeka's story is a conscientious, step-by-step journey which actually began 8 years ago when he cracked his first nut.
I started by buying and selling. I looked at the whole thing. It was going to cost me about 30 million, putting up a building, drawing a production line, doing my machines, a lot of things, a lot. Then the raw material itself, getting it on ground, like a truck of coconuts, it's over 4 million naira. And then when you trash about 1,000 bags, you're looking at just about 250 liters or so. So the major cost even goes into the raw material. It's something that I just looked at and said, what's the smallest way to start? I was working with a friend one day. I talked about coconut oil. That was about 8 years ago. And my friend Joy told me that this talk you've been talking, have you broken a nut yet? And it just dawned on me, I hadn't broken a nut. Immediately, we walked into the market, picked a nut, and I broke my first nut that day. And it was a huge excitement that I had my first oil, So that wasn't with, I didn't need 1,500 to do it. I did that with less than 500 naira. Coconut is just about 100 naira or less, So there are steps that can be taken without money. So many steps. So if an aspiring entrepreneur can take the steps that must be taken without money, he's already on his way. So what I did was, I started in my sister's kitchen, who I was living with, and I understood the process. So that's how small we started. So when little payments were coming, we were putting one block after the other. When the factory was set, we started the production line, because it's one thing to build, it's another thing to have a production line. So we started getting the materials for work. So that looked like I didn't need money or I didn't spend money. But of course, 10 million has gone down the line. But the monies came in their bits, sufficient enough for it there, and then we continue.
The cold-pressed wet milling method of extracting coconut oil is achieved through sorting, cracking, grinding, sieving, and several stages of filtration. Over the years, these painstaking processes have accrued to very striking business principles.
Some of the things I've learned over this period of time, I may just have to mention 3 out of many. And the first is patience. You can't do coconut oil without being patient. The process teaches you patience because you take one day at a time, one step at a time. Rushing over it makes you lose a lot. So we have had to learn to be patient over the process, and altogether looking at business as a whole. And if you're not patient, you may not just get what you want. And the second word is consistency. Consistency is another virtue I have had to learn before even embarking on this journey. I tell you, if I was to follow the bottlenecks I've seen, both with the regulatory bodies, the finance houses, and of course the market itself, I will have backed up. But I think I've come to know that consistency pays. I know people who called me now, who last called me 7 years ago. Somehow they just found my number. The first thing they ask is, are you still doing coconut oil? I say yes. The next thing is bring for me. So since we've sold based on referral, it has paid off. Consistency is a major key. So the third one is accountability. As a trained engineer, little or no accounts. I've had to go on the line of the social sciences to know profit and loss accounts, to know cash flow, to know what comes in and what goes out, balance sheet. If you're not keeping records or being accountable, then you aim at waste.
As with any young entrepreneur, especially in the production or manufacturing space for food consumption, the encumbrances are a dime a dozen. While striving to break even, he shares an informed analysis for a more conducive business environment in Nigeria.
I believe in my country. It's a nation that will truly soon become a great place that all other people will want to just be. Already we're seeing it. A lot of people are coming into the country for a number of investments. We haven't really found it very easy doing business here. So if I was to have an opportunity to give a recommendation, I would be saying that the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Labor, Ministry of Trade and Investment, alongside with Central Bank and all other commercial banks, put heads together. Also alongside with Export Promotion Council and all regulatory bodies, NAFDAC, SON and the likes. We need to have a point of reconciliation, a point of agreement. We need to come together and understand, are we ready to do business or not? We're talking about diversification. We're saying we have been too much on oil. Let's diversify. If you ask me, Nigeria is not ready for diversification. I'm on the streets and I can tell you confidently, we're not ready. Why do I say we're not ready? You go to a regulatory body and they show you their paper and say, you must meet up with this. And that's money. So you go to the bank and then you tell the bank, they say we should meet up with this. What do you say? And the bank says, no, we're not dealing with you. You're a small, you cannot pay us back. Yeah. Then where are you going to? You must go back and either cut corners or suffer. We don't want to even see the money. Just pay our bills, set up the line for us, do everything, buy us the raw material. We are ready to work. We will not only work, but we'll bring out a product that will bring solution, too many solutions to our nation. And once that solution is brought to our nation, then we will see the money coming back to us. It's natural. You can't bring about a solution and money will not follow. But what brings about a solution is still money. So those elementary or basic monies, the government should find a way to work it out. Bring us on the same desk with you. And then while you're talking, we'll make some inputs. All right, you can't go buy a machine for me that I don't need. So when you're telling me what I need to do and how I need to do it, I'll have to be there to confirm. We can have a roadmap for 20 years. A lot of countries did it. We don't even need to be rich today. I don't even need to be rich, but let my children be rich. So if we have a roadmap for 50 years, for 30 years, and we start doing it, of course, some of us will die before the time. But in our death, we will see a great nation. That will bring us fulfillment.
Now, as someone who read engineering in school and now doing something totally different, which really is the case with a lot of youths out there, what do you think our educational system, what role do you think the Nigerian educational system has to play in shaping, young person's future?
We went through school and came out. No one told us even how to look for a job. We came out of school to learn job search skills. And I just knew how sick our educational system, have been. And one of the things that make us sick is because we haven't learned that we can work with our hands and support the government. So, but if there is an entrepreneurship course, let the people know that if you put this to this through a process, solutions can come for a problem and it will earn you money over time. If people can just learn that, it goes a long way. So if there's any school that is practicing that, I give them kudos, and I pray that all schools, let the Ministry of Education put it from the onset. If Nigeria must become the dream we have dreamt, then it starts with our educational curriculum. It starts with the ministries I've mentioned coming together and thinking way out of this diversification. If we don't come to the nitty-gritties, to the basics, then I don't even see where we're going. A lot of things to discourage you surely will come, but be consistent, hit the mark, hit the road, and you'll get to the destination that you are going.
The vision of the company is to improve and maintain a healthy lifestyle in Nigeria. Even more so, Emeka finds fulfillment in seeing people develop and has since engaged a number of youths.
From childhood, I've been more like a street person. I do business here and there before I get connected with him. And I have business in mind, and which he has asked me several, though I have not given him an answer yet. He has asked me more than 4 times, what really do you want to do in life? We can be of help to you. Let's define it now. And one of the things he has impacted me with is the consistency, the patience, and being focused, which is part of consistency anyway. So that has a lot defined my life personally, and also alongside with the business.
I'm looking to starting my own business to toe the same line, to become an entrepreneur. I feel everybody should get their hands on and do something for themselves, build a business, no matter how little it is. If you have this mind, working for people or working for the government or whoever you're working for, it's just a matter of time. When you establish yours, you get such good people that would have the same mindset, and we'll have a better nation if every one of us just gets our hands doing something.
Indeed, the coconut oil team may very well be on course to surpass the 5-year survival mark for startup businesses through a well-thought-out distribution network plan to both increase and accommodate demand for the miracle product.
There is no business that will go somewhere without a business plan. There must be a document. I have looked closely to find that our raw materials are coming from the southwest. Badagry, to be precise. A lot of villages in the southwest, in all the Yoruba states, have coconuts. Then the south have coconuts. And I consider it as a business strategy to start from the north and do my marketing and sales and go down to the south. I schooled in Maiduguri. I lived all my life in Kaduna, and I started business in Abuja. So I'm an Igbo northerner. So what we are doing is within the next 18 months, we want to do some investments. They may come in the way of partnership, investors bringing in money and buying up shares, or we are taking up some loans. Once we're able to do between 1 million to 10 million investment in 18 months, it will be a good takeoff point for the next 4 years.
Okay, what would you say to that aspiring entrepreneur who's watching you right now and, is getting really fired up to start their own business someday?
For the young entrepreneur or aspiring person in business, I will say be sure of what you want to do. A lot of people are not sure, so be sure. And you don't have to be in a hurry. Sit back, lie down, dream, sleep, or whatever, but be sure. When you are sure, when you are very sure, then you can set out and never look back. Be consistent. All through the process, a lot of things to discourage you surely will come, but be consistent, hit the mark, hit the road, and you'll get to the destination that you are going.